This is part 1 of Library plus Canvas Integration 2021. The library hopes to do this presentation annually to upgrade faculty on all the changes and opportunities we have to integrate the library into the learning management system and how to look at sending students to the library in a variety of different ways. My name is Rhonda Kitchens. I'm a librarian. You can always reach out to me. The part that I'm going to go over will cover a cartoon. It's very brief. One size fits no one. You know that's absolutely true. I'm going to give a demonstration. Now this demonstration may be really fast, but what you can do is ask me about how to do these things individually. I'll be glad to do videos, meet you on Zoom or whatever. I'm going to throw a lot of things at you, hoping a couple of things stick. And reach out to me about any help you need. Next, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a demo. And finally, my name is Rhonda Kitchens. I'm your faculty academic librarian. While I am off on the summer and also on the weekends, if you want to reach out to me and talk to me about working library materials, ideas, exercises, assignments into your course, reach out to me. I'm always glad to talk to you about it. So let's get to the cartoon. Sometimes this is what students see. What does use library resources mean? That's in a lot of different assignments that we see coming in through the library, and the student only knows they need to use library resources. Let's look at linking those things up. There are over 100 databases. Now, which one do they need to get to? Do they need to use library catalog, or do they need to use databases A to Z, or what else do they need to do? The library catalog, doesn't it search all the books and all the databases and it's an all-in-one search? It is an all-in-one sort of search. It may only reach about 20% of our database holdings, but every single one of our print holdings is kind of like the old world and part of the new world all together in one search. It does not search everything. But did you know there are ways to link to and inside the databases some of the library resources individually that you actually want your students to use and enjoy? You know, stop those clicks. The more students click through and out from Canvas, we start to lose them a little bit. So let's kind of keep them together and make sure they're using what they need to use. And guess what? Librarians can build customized class guides that are easy to embed in Canvas. And that's going to be part 2 of this presentation provided by Matthias. So what I'm going to talk about are these things. One size fits pretty much no one. Your course, your assignment, your outcomes, your students are all not plug and play. Let's collaborate. Let's work on building support for student success and learning. Let's replace use library resources with a library resource that needs to be used. This could be as macro as a database associated with a subject heading, or like just use general science Ebsco database for this, or opposing viewpoints. And instead of going use library resources, use opposing viewpoints and link to that. It could be as small as linking to an individual thing you want a person to read, a student to read, to share, or a search result, or a scholarly journal. So you can set all these things up in Ebsco and Proquest. I'm going to demonstrate Proquest. Now, these are really detailed, and if you ever want me to go over it with you individually or show you how to find a thing, I will do that for you. I can give you a video how to do it, or I could give you that link. Whatever works. Let's do that. Class guides. I can also put the links in a class guide. I can work with you to make sure we have a customized guide that will funnel students successfully through the research portions of your project. You can choose a video, step-by-step, zoom in, in-person instruction as available, student meetings, custom library, office hours. You can do Ask a Librarian check-ins. We can send students the transcripts to upload into your assignment. We have options, and we're glad to work with you. So, what does this look like? I am glad you asked. I'm about to show you. Again, this may be a lot of things that I'm showing you all at one time, but you can always write me or Matthias, ask us about it, and we can break it down. We could show it to you. We could put it in your course. If you sign us into your course, we could set it up for you or build you a class guide. You know what? We're really interested in supporting you and students, so let's do that. When you're sending students to the library, remember you're sending people who may think of the library as a building. You may be sending people who've never actually used the library. Do you know how many public and high school librarians are still functioning in this area in other spaces? Do you know how many people are coming back to school that never had a library or a librarian that's quite like this? So your idea of sitting to the library and their idea of where the library is could be very, very different and very, very confusing. So if you're going to send your students to the library, link this. Send them to this library if this is what you want to do. If you want to send them to the library catalog, right click, if that's what brings this up, or whatever your particular thing shows you the link for an address, copy this link address and use that. Did you actually want them to go to databases A to Z? Copy this link address and use that in your course, in your emails, and other assignments. Did you actually want to send them to tutorials? Well, there's two different ways to do that. One way is to use this address, or if you right click and you can get the copy link, or you could send them to the individual ones. That's right, we have a library orientation, or an orientation just to databases A to Z, how to find, read, and identify scholarly articles. In this case, specifically research scholarly articles, though we do give a nod to the rest. APA 7th edition, we do that. Search strategy, business research, history, nursing, science, sociology, psychology, Google Scholar, because we do have a special link that takes you to full text, and this particular video is under 5 minutes for a lifetime of joy. Next level Google, that's right, Google News, Alerts, Advanced Scholar, and also the ever important Semantic Scholar and Wolfram Alpha, all in 25 minutes. And this is the 5 top databases as used by students. So this will change, but all these are recorded and ready to roll. Each part of the pieces, they usually have other items around them. You will have a video. You can also pull this video out and share and embed as you wish to do so. We do have some linking as opposed, like if you want your student to get extra credit, want me to let you know that they viewed it by answering some questions I have on this forum, I will be absolutely glad to do so. And I announce webinars quite a bit, as you know. So that is how you might use some of these pieces for your courses. Instead of saying use the library, find help, or this, that, or the other, send the student to exactly what they need. Now, when you send the student here, on every single page, we have Ask a Librarian. And this is a very powerful tool. It actually works overnight. Do you know how many of our students have to do their homework at 2 or 3 in the morning? We do, because we see them talking to librarians in Australia or England and all these other places in the middle of the night trying to get help. And most of the time the help is really good. And if not, I follow up in the morning and make sure that it is. So when you add these pieces to your Canvas course, you're connecting students to actual librarians for 24/7. And that is a powerful and wonderful thing. Another thing you can do, like I said, was help us build a class guide. Maybe all these things I just said are just too much and you have a lot to build in your course. And yes, you do. Well, this is what these would look like. These would be a collaboration. You would let us know your desired outcomes, what you want students to have. You'd show us your rubric and your assignment, and we'd customize a piece that would fit what you need. Because that's right, one size does not fit all. This happens to be a biology piece. Some of the students in this course are working more on healthcare oriented pieces, and that does call for a different type of scholarly article. It wants to have a research article. Here we actually talk about identifying them, and we also talk about the evidence-based pyramid briefly, because this is important for this particular type of work and this assignment. This may have no meaning to any other course on the campus, but we're able to customize and specify what these students need to do to be successful, just not with this assignment, but as they continue to work on this level of research. In this case, we also pulled out some keywords and some different keyword ideas. These are discussed inside of this video. This video also covers using specific databases. Instead of 100, we have chosen 3 of the best ones for this piece. We also work outside and show things that are government resources that are also great. And the related items we also use, and as always, all of the search tricks, the really important ones. And I love this because these are the search things I use every single week. So we could build something like that for you. Let me show you as well the piece for music. And that's going to be very specific to this. What we're able to do here after talking with Dr. Owens is try to figure out what would make a successful resources for this. And we were able to go in and pull out specific journals that these students could use, not sending them to the library resources, but sending them to this piece that has a support video, has all the search tricks, at least the important ones, and all these links and to help these students find their specific thing. As you'll see here, the coverage goes from early music history, hip hop, Rolling Stone, Asian music, and all the other places we know these students may touch upon for this project. Their individual project deserves individual databases, not all 100. And this tells them how to use it, and also in the process, in context, discusses different things about evaluation, what you might do in terms of a search strategy, keywords, and all the other major things they need to know, but in context of what they're working on. So we can absolutely build you these gorgeous pieces, and we'd be glad to work with you. And if any of this confuses you, there's an easier way to do it. And in part 2, Matthias is going to explain this gorgeous, beautiful, let's keep the students inside the Canvas, not send them out where we may lose them. Some really great ways, a great strategy to work this through. He built this wonderful piece inside a Canvas that is now available to all of you. But if you're uncomfortable, ask us to help you out, because you know what? We'd be absolutely glad to do so. But before I go, I want to show you one more thing. This is very specific to 2 of our databases, Ebsco and Proquest. We're going to be going through some changes, but these things should stay true. So if you're going to use something like Proquest and you want your students to go to Proquest, come here and copy the link address and send them directly to Proquest. If you're going into Proquest and you actually want them to use a specific journal, hey, let's go over here to Publications, and let's look for that journal. That was not what I wanted to do. Sorry about that. Let's look for that journal here, Publications. And let's say it's New York Times, Wall Street Journal, the Journal of Popular Culture, whatever it is. If it's not here, you can ask us to see if we can figure out what database it is in so we can isolate it. But this has a beautiful setup. So we're going to go to New York Times. There's actually several versions, but I'll just select this one and let you know full text is available. In some cases, the most current year is an embargo, and we could do those through interlibrary loan if you should need those individually. But this seems to be up to date. And here you can choose issues and go back to 1980. You could go and do specific days. So it really can target your search. If you want to compare a certain day through certain decades, you'll be able to do that. Or you could search all of New York Times at one time, and I'll just randomly put in family, and you will come up with that search. And that takes you into Proquest the way you normally might use it. But let me take you back here and show you the important part. You see up here where it says copy URL? When you use this link inside of Canvas, when you ask your student to search New York Times, you could actually send them here to search New York Times. Next, let's go look at an advanced search. I will just put in some vague thing like family. And let's go to the search. I like to make my changes in the search result page, and I'm going to go through this setup. I would like my students to find something full text. And let me take that out because it's just going to give me newspapers. Sorry about that. I'm going to show you my errors as well so you could see how to change things. So I'm going to do a search on family, and I want it to be full text for my students, so what they see is what they get. I want it to be inside of a peer-reviewed journal. I want to make sure it's a scholarly journal. Students will still need to make sure that it is a scholarly article because sometimes there's different types of literature inside of those. So up here, you'll see the filters that are being applied. I'm going to make sure that is in there as well. So there's still a lot of search results. So you could always bring it down, add something else, and food. And you can put things like food insecurity or whatever the topic may be. And suppose now you have your students set up for success. It's full text. It's peer reviewed. It's in a scholarly journal. And if you link them to the scholarly, how to find a scholarly article, they will make sure that they select that in the journal because that's sometimes an issue. But if you come over here and you save this search, get search link right here. What if, instead of telling your students to go use library resources, you put them in Proquest and already start the search, and start the search where they can add onto the search so they could be more successful. They're finding the full text, it should be peer reviewed, it should be in a scholarly journal, and then they only need to determine it's actually the type of article that you need for the assignment. And that narrows down the pool to something that's more comfortable, more reasonable. It's still something they have to work with, but it doesn't put them in a larger pool of things that they may not be able to get out of. So you could save in a Proquest, you can get them to a publication, you can get them to a specific search, you could actually get them to the specific article. Suppose you want everyone to read this article and maybe understand some things around it. So you could put them here and hit, this has all options, and one of those options is a link. Additionally, when you send them this page, they're going to get related items. They're also going to get other things that they can search. So if you put them in here and ask them to look at the references in this particular document and other things, Proquest provides you with this beautiful linked in, easy to use package. In fact, when I'm using Ask a Librarian, I often use Proquest because when I share the links with students, they frequently always resolve and those interactions end happily. So if you have any questions, reach out to us. Part 2 is Matthias showing you how to do some of these things in a lovely, easy fashion. Thank you. If you have any questions, reach out to Rhonda or any librarian on the staff. We are so excited to be here to help you.